Hey folks, Sam here with Sam Wood Outdoors. Today we're going to show you how to cape a buck. That's basically taking the hide from the nose all the way back to the back part of the shoulder. How this is going to help you out, a lot of guys, they take their deer to a butcher, they pay extra to get it caped out. You really don't have to. It's actually pretty simple. A lot of times you're out west, you need to cape a buck out and you don't really know how to do it. You end up paying somebody to do it. And I'm telling you, it is really simple. We're going to show you how to do it from start to finish. You're going to make your taxidermist happy. And another thing is, if you shoot a nice buck and you don't want to get it mounted, you can cape it out and sell the cape on the taxidermy market anywhere from 25 up to 150 bucks. So you might make $1 or $2. But here's how you do it. All right, we got to cape this deer out, and actually we started doing it, and Corey says, hey, this would be a good time to do a video. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to cape this deer. We're going to show you a rough cape, which is basically where the average guy can take the hide from here down, cut it off right here, and take it to your taxidermist, and he can do the rest. It gets kind of technical around the horns, the eyes, the nose, and the lips. But the second part of the video will show you how to do that. We already got one leg off, and like I said, Corey said, but we're going to show you how you can do this. You don't need nothing fancy, you just need your knife. Right there where it bends, just cut across there. Just go all the way around. I can basically skin and butcher a whole deer with a knife, actually smaller than this. Sometime we'll have to do a video on that. Get that cut through there. Let's give him a good twist. That's all you got to do. Come back in. Cut that little tendon. Done. Okay, now for the cuts. When you gut a deer and you want to cape it out, you should only go to the brisket and then stop. This is actually where everybody screws up because they never leave enough hide, and your taxidermist ends up with a short hide. So right where the brisket is, we're going to make a cut all the way around the deer. That's going to give him plenty of hide there. We're going to go from this joint, and we're going to follow this white where it meets the brown right to there, and then we're going to go up to there. And then from the back here, we're going to split that to right about here. Now right about here past the ears, and we're going to go to the horns. So them are the initial cuts we're going to make. So let's start making them. Just follow that right there, right up that white to where the white and the brown meet. Get to there, take that up to there, just like that. And then, like I said, this will give your taxidermist plenty of hide. Now, most of the time when you're doing this, you want to cut, see how we're coming from the bottom of the hide to the top? You don't want to cut like this, because you cut all these hairs, and then when your taxidermist sews it back together, you'll see that seam. But if you come in like this on any of your cuts, it doesn't cut any of this hair. You can see there's very little hair on that meat, and that leaves your taxidermist a really nice thing. All right, next one we want to do, next cut is right around here, all the way around the back. And if you give, this is where everybody comes short. They think they see a head mount and they cut it right here behind the legs. Man, don't do that. Just give your taxidermist, he's more than happy to cut the extra hide off, let me tell you. He will never complain that you're bringing him too much hide. Everybody looking for a good taxidermist, I use Action Arts out of Wapaka, Wisconsin. Little Ron Worthy. His dad was my dad's taxidermist and mine when I was growing up, and now Ronnie does it. So he's my taxidermist and my kids' taxidermist. And I've went to school and did taxidermy. That's why I know how to do all this, but I don't want to do it for a living. So there we go. That's that. So now we just want to start skinning this deer. You can, when you cut, just cut where the hide. Don't freak out if you cut a hole. Don't try to cut a hole, but don't freak out. Get that down to there. Work around these legs first. Just like this. And we'll get this down to the next stage, but that's you always want to peel the hide like this and cut right where it meets the meat. So we're going to shut the video off here because you'll get bored watching me skin this whole deer, and we'll come back when we do the next stage. All right, we got him all skinned down. Like I said, we didn't make this cut here because you're gonna let your taxidermist make that if you do this far. Basically, I just took and I got him skinned all the way down to his neck or his throat there. So now what we're gonna do, this is where most people are gonna stop, and you're gonna take this into your taxidermist, but we wanna cut the head off. So we're just gonna go through here. We're just gonna cut, yeah, hold him straight. We gotta cut through all of this meat and muscle or you'll never get this head off. Through the neck or through the throat. So we're just gonna get it all the way around here. Right here where you got your cut. Because this is all neck roast and you wanna keep that to eat. And then when we get this all cut here, careful where you got the hide. Just keep coming around. Meet that other cut. Just like this. Right to the backbone, right to the bone. That's where we want to be. And the more you do here, the less you have to do in the next step. The next step is to just twist his, got his legs? Twist his head off, just like that. One little cut here. That's all we got left. Hold him, hold him, hold him. And that's it. So this is what you'll take to your taxidermist if you do the rough skinning. Next part of the video, I'll show you skinning out the head. But most guys don't have to do that. If you take that to your taxidermist, he's gonna be happy. We gotta get the rest of this hide off and get this deer to the butcher. All right, we got our buck caped out. Like I said, most of you could have took this right to the taxidermist and you'd have been done. But if you want to take it to the step further and finish out the head, what you gotta do here is I lay this down and I get it set so it's folded in half. Half the brisket, everything's good. And then, usually helps you got somebody to hold it. We'll finagle it here. Then you get your arm up in here. And we got to split him right down the middle of the back. And this is, oh, I guess I should have took the knife in there. So you want to split him, get it set. So he's down the middle of the back. Just like that. Basically, you got half and half. You're good to go. Now this is what they call a Y cut. I'm going to come in here and continue this up through the middle of the ear. Just like that. Get it just a little past the ear. Just like that. And then we're going to, where our Y is going to go, and we're going to go towards each horn, the back of the horn. Or back of the antler, I guess. They're not horns, they're antlers. It's like that. And then we'll get this side. It's like that. So that's what we got. Nice Y cut. And we'll start. I like to start and make sure. Getting up here. And then you're going to be by the ears. Give your taxidermist enough ear to work with. Cut it way, way down. Almost towards the base of the skull. Let me get a good view on this one here. Here's your ear butt. You can feel it move. It's called an ear butt. Cut that down. Skin this around. It's like this. The more you give your taxidermist, the better your mount will be. Don't worry about that meat on there. He ain't gonna care. He's gonna flush it all off. You know, and if you're at home and you can get it to a taxidermist, let him do this part. But if you're like out west or traveling or something and you got to do this, this is how you do it. All right. So now we want to get right up underneath the base of that antler burr. So right up under here. And then I just work my knife in underneath and just kind of curve it around, just like that. Just underneath the antler burr. You get a nice close up of that, Justin. Just go underneath the antler burr right here and curve it around. And when you're done, you want to leave it nice and clean. There's no hide, no hair, no nothing there, and that's what you want. So let me get around these antlers, and then we'll come back and show you the rest. We got him down past here. We got this skinned out around the burr of the horns. Now listen, here's another reason why you should learn how to do this. If you're doing a European mount, like this kid's going to get a full head mount. This is his first buck. And his parents don't even hunt or nothing, so that's kind of how I ended up getting to do it. But if you were going to do a European mount on this, if you learn how to skin these capes, rather than sell the deer hide for $5, you can get sometimes, you know, starting at $20 on up to $50, $60, $70, depending on the size of the cape. So you should learn how to do this. And your beetle guy is going to be happy if you take him in just ahead. So now, here we are. We're right at the corner of the eye. This is where stuff starts to get a little hairy, because we want to get all this inside eyelid here, where my finger is. We want to give the taxidermist a lot of that. And we want to give him this tear duct. We want to give him this tear duct. So we want to go down in there as far as we can. So this is where I start turning my knife and kind of working towards the skull rather than this way. Now we're here. Here's the eye. Here's the corner of the eye. We're going to give him as much as we can. I got my finger right in there. And we're going to give that taxidermist as much of this eye lining and eyelid as we can. You cannot give him too much. I guarantee you that. You cannot give him too much. So we can get our finger in there again. We're going to cut around this eye. On a scale of 1 to 10 on how hard this is, first one you do, you'll probably screw it up. After that, okay, now if you look, we got all this in their eyelid. And what the taxidermist is going to do is he's going to split them eyelids and be able to tuck them in. And then he's going to split the ear, and then he's going to split. And if you pull here, if you pull this, you can see this inner eyelid and everything. You want to give him as much of this stuff as you can. This is all the good stuff. This is the stuff he's going to be so happy to see. Like this. Now we're getting towards the corner of that eye and that tear duct. So now we want to get as much of that tear duct as we can. Because now that's going to look good on your mount when he tucks that in. Fills it up. So that's pretty important. And again, here's that tear duct. And you can feel it on this side. So now we're kind of digging down in that tear duct to get that out. And really, guys, a sharp knife, and this ain't very hard. I'm trying to do this one side here without getting the other side boring you. So there we go. Now here we go. So we got all of the eye, and we got that tear duct. So if you flip this over, we got whole inner tear duct there, and you see what we got on the inside of that eye? Your taxidermist is going to love you for that. Let me get the other side. We'll come back. We'll work down around the lips and the nose. All right, we're getting down there now to the bottom of this lower jaw. So I like to do the lower jaw first to get it off. Then I can make sure I get enough of that nose. So like I said, you want to get all of that out. No, don't leave any lip on the skull. Just do it up here. We're almost got her. If you guys are skinning coons and stuff like that, you'll be all right here doing this. All right, there it is. Took all the lip right off. And then, like I said, your taxidermist, he splits this, and he'll be able to tuck that in and give you a beautiful mount. I do the top one. I go right along this palate there. And then we want to go right along here. And right in here, there's no bone. So I like to cut just straight in there, baby. Just like that. And then this is his top here. So this is where his nose is going to be. And now we want to give him as much of that nose. Take that cartilage. Give him as much of that nose as you can. Because in there, he's got to split it and tuck that back in too. So then you go like that. Come down a little bit. Once you got it like that, flip him over and do right up here. And it'll all come together. When you get to the edge, you just cut straight down. And there you go. He'll take all of that nose cartilage out of there and everything else. That's it. It's done. Now you take this to your taxidermist and this, and he'll cut the horns off and do everything else. And if you want, and you're going to do a European mount, you left everything's good there. Take this to a taxidermist, put it on eBay, do whatever you got to do and sell it. But that baby's done. Got to drop her off at Action Arts Taxidermy, my buddy Ron Worthy tomorrow. And that's it. It's all done.